Okay, so I want you to title it Lesson 7.2 Notes 2, and this is just an add-on. We're still really doing the same thing we were doing in Lesson 7.2 Notes 2, but we're adding on a couple more practice problems of some type that will happen in your homework today, and I don't want you to not know what to do. So here's our first one that we're going to write in factored form. We have 6a cubed minus 9a squared, take away 12, add 8a.
Add the opposite.
Yep, first move is going to be add the opposite, and in that, and then also maybe in that same step we can add the parentheses in, right? Plus a negative 12 plus 8a. So change subtraction to addition, insert our parentheses to make our groups.
And then GCF.
Okay, now we're going to GCF each group, aren't we? So what do you think the GCF is of the first group?
3.
Is 3 the largest number that can come out of it? Okay, so 3. And then can we divide any variable part out of both of them?
A squared.
A squared. So our GCF for that group is 3a squared. Okay, what do we have after we take 6a cubed and divide it by 3a squared?
2a plus 3.
So 6 divided by 3 is 2. A cubed divided by a squared is a
Plus negative 3.
plus negative 3. Because negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. A squared divided by a squared is 1. So 3 times 1 is, or negative 3 times 1 is
Know what the difference is. Like whenever doing these, I know.
You already got this figured out. What's going to happen, huh? Okay. What should we use as a GCF in our next one?
4.
4. Okay. So 4. Can't do any variable, right?
No.
Because the negative 12 doesn't have a variable part. So we can't divide a variable out. So what's negative 12 divided by 4?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. And what's 8a divided by
2a.
2a? What's the goal again when we're factoring by grouping? We need in each of the groups we need one of the factors to be exactly the same. They are exactly the same, but they just don't look like it at the moment. So let's just take the first one and write it as it is. And because we know addition, we can let them trade places. We'll rewrite the other one, having the 2a and the negative 3 trade places, so that now we can see they do match. Because now, what is the GCF of the whole polynomial that we started with?
2a plus
negative 3.
Yeah, 2a, the one that they have in common is the GCF of the whole thing, times, there's no plus sign in between these. We have, after we take this out of the first group, we have a 3a squared left, plus, after we take the 2a plus negative 3 out of the second group, we have a 4 left.
Do we have to do check problems on these ones?
Yep, we're doing check problems again today, but we won't write down our notes, okay, so that you can get to your homework sooner. Let's clean this up. What's it going to be?
2a subtract 3.
2a take away 3
And then 3a squared.
times 3a squared plus 4. So we have to understand that once we've done the GCFing of each group and we have that, now we have to get it back to looking like multiplication. There's multiplication going on up here, but between them we have that addition. So I was seeing on some papers yesterday that addition sign was coming down and coming in between here, but it doesn't. That addition sign actually comes right here. That's where it is. It doesn't come between these two. We have multiplication going on. Okay? So this gets carried down into the second factor. Okay. Any questions about that one? Okay, the trickier of the two.
Wait, this one's gonna be hard?
We're going to be trickier. Okay, we're going to do 3r minus r squared plus 2r, take away 6. There's our polynomial.
The opposites.
Okay, so our first move is rename it, add the opposite. And then what?
And then parentheses.
Put some parentheses in. In other words, just do some grouping. Okay, what's the GCF? What do you think we could use as a GCF for the first group? A 1R?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have an R that we're going to factor out of this first group. That's 3R divided by R.
3R.
3R divided by R?
Oh, just kidding. 3.
3. Negative R squared divided by R? First of all, negative divided by a positive. Negative. R squared divided by R? R. Okay. What's the GCF of our next group? 2R or just 2?
2.
Just 2, because that negative 6 doesn't have an R, does it? Okay. So 2R divided by 2. R. Negative 6 divided by 2. Negative 3. Okay. Well, they aren't in the same order, so let's just take a moment here and get them in the same order at least. 3 plus negative R, and have the 3 and the negative 3 and the R trade places in the other one.
How is that right though?
I know.
It's not.
There's a problem, isn't there? Do they match exactly?
No.
No. In one, the 3 is positive and the other one is negative.
So like,
And the one, the R is negative and the other one is positive. So we can't stop
there's no
it.
answer.
No, there is an answer.
0.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to say, okay, I want you to go like this. And I want you to kind of say, well, we did something and it didn't work. So we're just gonna put a big X here saying that didn't work so well. So here's what you do when the pieces have opposite signs. Make the GCF of that second group negative instead of positive.
Wait, what?
So here's what we're gonna do. So
Oh.
instead of dividing out a positive 2, so we're going to stay with the same thing that we did in the first one. That's not going to change. So this right here, this was like we tried this and it didn't work. And so now we say, well, what if instead of that being a positive 2, remember how sometimes I said we can make our GCF negative?
Yeah.
So instead of making the GCF be a positive 2, let's have it be a negative 2 and see what happens. So now we have to go back up here, you guys, and we have to factor it out of that. You're going to go back up to that. Remember, that didn't work. So what's 2R divided by negative 2? What's a positive, first of all, divided by a negative? A positive 2R divided by a negative. That's a negative. And now we can forget about the negative. What's 2R divided by 2? R. And now we have a negative 6 divided by a negative 2. That's a positive 3. Now, are we feeling a little bit better about it? Let's see if we have that second one trade places. Does it match the first one? Yeah. So sometimes that second GCF, you want to make it negative. If it doesn't work out, you say, oh, that means I should have made it negative.
Oh my
Let me
God.
try it being negative instead. So now, we're not done. What's our GCF of the whole polynomial? What's our GCF of the whole polynomial?
3, subtract R.
3, yeah, plus a negative R for the moment.
Okay, and then R plus negative 2.
And the other factor, after we divided out of each group, we have an R left in the first group. Divided out of the second group, We have a -2 left. And now we'll clean that up. So cleaned up, our answer is 3 take away R times R take away 2. So you have to make sure they match exactly. If they don't, you need to rework. You have to, like that last little thing you tried, you have to rework that and say, okay, well, let me make my GCF negative. And that doesn't happen every time, it just happens sometimes. Because again, the important thing is that we end up with a factor in each group that matches exactly. So any questions? You are doing checkouts in your homework,
No.
but I didn't do them here so you get more homework time. And you still know how to do the checkouts, right? So yesterday's notes, these notes help you out.